Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Sam's Financial Corner, and in today's episode we're going to talk about a side hustle that I have experience with, and that's English First, and that's teaching English as a second language or as a foreign language. I always get those two confused. Maybe there is a difference, maybe there isn't. I don't know. But anyway, I want to talk about it purely from the perspective of a side hustle. So the one thing I do like about this side hustle is that there are not a lot of barriers to entry. I saw a side hustle, but it wasn't a side hustle. It was more of a full-time, but it was an online thing and it was customer service. It paid decently, but they wanted you to create a Google Doc. They wanted you to create some sort of form and then send. They had so many requirements that it's like, now am I in school? And I think a lot of jobs and maybe even side hustles are now going to want some sort of, they're going to give you some assessment, some sort of task or whatever. And it's like, do you really think it's worth your time to sit up here and create documents and do this stuff for an opportunity where you may not be chosen? I mean, it can be worth it in the long run, don't get me wrong, but I think that I'm getting to an age now where I don't have time to sit up here and fill out all these assessments and forms and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 interviews for a job that I probably am not going to like. And the people I'm going to work with, whether it's virtually or in person, are going to make me want to high five them in the face with a brick. I'm not an advocate for violence, I'm not saying, but sometimes people make you feel that way. But I'm sorry, I digress. Let me get into this video. So when we talk about side hustles, I will say this about English First. Number one, they have low barriers. And when I say low, you at least have to have a bachelor's degree. And I know most people do, not everyone does, but you need to have a bachelor's degree. You don't need to have prior teaching experience, but it can help. The one thing I will say is a pro for this is that 24 hours. So if you're a night owl, you can teach whenever you feel like it. If you can teach in the evenings, you can teach in the mornings, you can teach throughout the day. You can set up your schedule for you, which I think is great, especially if you have a full-time gig. If you have a full-time gig, then being able to maybe do evenings, early mornings, whatever works best for you is great. It is truly a side hustle that can fit your schedule, and that's important. Like I said before, low barriers to entry. You don't have to do all of these like exams or assessments. You don't have to do a whole lot of things. Now you will have to get your teaching English certificate, and that isn't going to be hard. You do have to go through their training process and complete it within a certain time frame. It's not really rigorous though. It's not that bad. The one thing I would say I love about it is they really test you on it. So by the time it's your first day, even if you're like, oh my God, I can't believe this, or you're second guessing yourself, you will know how to navigate their platform. And I really give it to them and really applaud them for that. They make sure that you're very, very prepared. And so when I was doing it for the first time, it gave me a lot of comfort. I was still nervous. I mean, because for me personally, why I wanted to do this is I've always wanted to teach. I just didn't know how. And then this opportunity came around for the second time, and I was just like, why not? Another thing that I like is that they offer you trainings that you can take, and these trainings help you from understanding how to use the software, just overall questions as a teacher, payment, anything that you need. I really like that they give you those type of trainings. Another thing is that the curriculums or whatever you're teaching for that day are prepared. Now you can add your own stuff. You just can't add stuff that is copywritten. And the great thing is, as a teacher, and sometimes I've done it where the curriculum is there, but you're teaching the student, and sometimes you can just tell that they want to talk about something different, or sometimes as you're teaching, the lesson goes a different way. And the great thing about it is you're really given the freedom to really teach and really impart your knowledge and wisdom to your student per lesson. So I've had some where the student wanted to talk about something else, we did, or I had one student who was like, look, I have, I think he was doing his doctorate and he had something that was due on a Monday. And so we ended up going through the lesson and just telling him, well, not through the lesson, but he had a specific project. And so I said, well, okay, I can help you with that. And so he began to ask me questions. I began to give him advice. And what I really like is that you have the freedom to really teach based upon the student's needs. The only con that I can really give is that the pay rate is really low. And if you go, and I invite you to go, if it's something that you're interested in doing, I invite you to go on to Indeed and read the reviews. And a lot of people say the same thing. The rate of pay is not great. So if you're looking for something that you could turn into a full-time hustle, this is not it. This is not it. The pay rate is not enough to help you to pay all of your, just basically support a standard of living. I'll say that. It's just not enough. I will say that they do give you support for tools and stuff like that, but again, the pay is not enough, and that's really the only con. Another pro that I want to give is that I really learned a lot about myself from teaching and the adult students, because again, I think I mentioned this, but I'll say again, I haven't taught any of the kids, and you can, but teaching the adults are absolutely hilarious. And I'm gonna tell you this, in so many of my classes, the answers that the students give, some of them are absolutely hilarious. And honestly, even though I'm teaching them, some of them make it, see, I'm trying not to laugh now because I remember so many funny things my students have said, and they can make it into a fun conversation. So for me personally, I think it's a very good learning experience. I do think that if you want to practice public speaking, I think it's a great way, because you do grade the students and give them feedback, and they give you feedback as well. And so overall, I would say I think English First, just from a side perspective, I think it's a good one. You can set up your calendar, just giving a recap, you set up your calendar when you want to, you teach how you feel, you're not inundated with a specific time in which you really choose, which is great. And I think overall it's just a good experience, but like I said, the pay isn't great. But overall it's a good experience. So if you taught with English First, or you kind of have any questions or whatever, you can drop them down in the comment section. I just wanted to share this with you as we're in this new year, and I know a lot of people are looking for different side hustles and things to do. So thank you for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.